For everyone out there that has lived through child abuse and now you're struggling as an adult, I need to tell you right now that you're not broken. You're just impacted. I may need to say that again because somebody may have needed to hear that today. You're not broken. You've been impacted by the things that you experienced. The good news is it may have shaped you, but it does not define you. And I know, I understand. I've been there. And that's why I will continue to tell my story. When I was in that car, I had hit rock bottom. And it was rainy night, but my shirt was just as wet as the windshield was. I was gripping the steering wheel while having all these negative suicidal thoughts rushing through my head. Go on and do it. Nobody cares about you anymore. They only cared about you because of the thing that you did for them. And since you can't do it anymore, they don't care about you. They won't even miss you when you're gone. I felt lost. I felt broken. I felt abandoned. I felt all alone. And that's why I will continue to tell my story. That's why I do these videos, because I want to help somebody that has lived through abuse and now as an adult is struggling. And you see, it's easy to see the emotional side of trauma. But let's talk about the science side of it, the biology side of it. What happens see, trauma isn't the thing that's happening to you, the experience that you went through. Trauma is what's happening inside of you. And I explain it like this. Have you ever been chased by a dog or even just threatened from a dog? Once your brain senses danger around you, it in a split second it sends out an alert, and your nervous system goes into survival mode. You know, fight, flight, or freeze. And that's good because your brain is there to protect you. But once the dog is gone, then you come down out of survival mode. But what happens when you can't come out of survival mode? It's good for survival. But what about when that dog goes home with you every night? When that dog is waiting for you every night at home? What if that dog is waiting for you every day at school in the form of a bully? What if that dog is the environment that you live in? Now your body has been conditioned to stay in survival mode. See, it's good when you go into survival mode to protect yourself from something and then come out of it. But when you stay in it and then your body gets conditioned to stay there, that's when the problem happens. So how does this look in real life? It looks like somebody just struggling, trying to trust people around them. It looks like people shutting down, easily to shut down, overthinking everything, people pleasing just to avoid conflict, easily triggered, always on edge. You see, trauma rewires the brain and your behavior. So when you ask yourself, why am I like this? Have you ever asked yourself that? I know I did many times. So when you ask yourself that, the real answer is because of what you've been through, not because there's something wrong with you. See, and this is awareness. You cannot change anything until you become aware of it, until you know what's happening. And if you're like me, I grew up thinking that I wasn't enough. I would never be anything. I was broken. I would never be successful. Low self-esteem, no self-worth, no confidence. But these thoughts just didn't come from nowhere or just out of nowhere. These thoughts was learned. They was built. Do you have any of these beliefs? Some of these beliefs? Or maybe all of these beliefs? Those beliefs come from being hurt by people that you trust, carrying pain that you couldn't even put words to, or carrying pain that you shouldn't been carrying at all, feeling unseen and unheard. But here's what truly helped me when I realized that healing is not just being aware, but healing is also understanding that I didn't have to stay there. But this is where my faith changed everything. There was a time that I felt stuck. I was hurt. I was carrying pain that I should have let go a long time ago. I felt like nothing. I felt like a nobody. I was lost. I started healing when I realized who God says that I am. God says that I am a overcomer. God says that I am a conqueror. God says I'm more than victorious. God says I'm always the head and not the tail. God says I'm a chosen. God says that I'm a king. God says that I'm a royal priesthood. And when I started agreeing with what God says who I am, then that's when I started healing. That's when I started changing. Not because my past changed, but I realized who I was. And you can do the same once you realize what's going on with you and then start agreeing with who God says that you are. And you will realize that you are not broken. You have just been impacted. But your past does not have to dictate your future.